company, but it's all a disaster. And they just looked at me and they just gave me a big hug and they said, what do you do? And I said, well, I work for this company that you will never have heard of. It's called BPP. We do training in finance and management. And one of them said, oh, I trained with BPP when I was in the UK. I'm a partner at PW. And the other one said, oh, I trained with your competitor. I'm a partner at KPMG. And the other one said, I used your books to get through my exams. I'm the assistant finance director at Unilever. And I almost fell over, right? So it was just like, you know, literally God had sent me people that would help me connect with this strange country. And they said, give us your mobile phone. So I gave them my mobile phone, thinking they were going to put their phone numbers in. Not only did they put their phone numbers in, but they put in the phone number of an estate agent who spoke English, a taxi company that spoke English, a vegetarian restaurant, which was very important because Poles don't know the meaning of being vegetarian, and just a lawyer and people who would be useful. And I'm profoundly grateful for that night. Those girls are still my best friends. You know, one's in the Czech Republic, one's in Australia, one's in the UK, one's in France, and they're still very close friends of mine. And we built up this amazing friendship. Over the next 3 months, I got PW as a client, I got KPMG, got Unilever. Somebody was leaving from KPMG, so he decided to come in and I recruited him as my CEO for BPP Poland. It was amazing.
So that one networking event kind of helped you not only gain more confidence also, which...
It changed my life. It changed my outlook on how to get business, how to do business, how... You know, networking is not just about, I need your business, it's about what can I help you with. One of these companies had a massive problem with their staff and they really needed to scale up quickly. And we came along and we were useful for them. And so it wasn't like, give me business, it was like, how can you help me? And that's what networking is. Networking is nurturing. It's not, you know, what can I do for you? How much business can I get out from you? And how much can you give me? It really isn't about that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then you started GTG, right? And with some training.
So just in between that, so then I went from Poland, helped set up Czech Republic, Ukraine, Serbia, Albania, and Hungary. So did that in the space of 7 years.
Okay, with BPP.
With BPP,
okay.
And then one fateful day, when I was expecting number 2, my husband said to me, what next? And I thought, what next? And I looked at him and I said, India. And he looked at me and said, really? And I said, yes, India. In fact, before we got married, one of my stipulations was that at some stage I wanted to live in India. I knew that I wanted to be here. We have the best brains on the planet. There is absolutely no doubt about that. We just don't have the education system that supports those best brains on the planet. And I said, I want to be doing something in education in India, and I want to be making a difference.
Wonderful. So what was the year when you moved back?
So we started discussing things at the beginning of 2005. And so at the beginning of 2005, we spent 5 weeks in 5 different cities in India. We spent a week in Delhi, Bangalore, Pune, Bombay, and Calcutta. And I'm a chartered accountant, my husband was IT, so spreadsheet, all the things that we would want in a city to run a successful business, and also bring up a family, and all the cities ranking 1 out of 10 for each category. And I am not kidding you, we stood on street corners, we talked to people, we just walked up to people and started having conversations and really got a feel for the cities, and Pune won hands down.
So with Get Through Guides, you had some experience with BPP in
Yes.
training.
Yes.
Do you think that helped you in setting up GTG?
No.
The challenges were completely different.
God, we always come into this thinking, I know the market that's there, I know everything, you know, all of that.
Business.
I know the business, I've run this business, I've done training. When we moved to India, the first thing I wanted to do was publishing. I wanted to produce really good content because I just found the textbooks over here, especially, you know, sort of for professional education, really quite dry and very wordy. And what I was used to was, you know, pictures, diagrams, you know, explanations, etc., etc. So that's the first thing that we wanted to do, was open publishing. And so we decided to create a range of materials for a particular qualification, a global qualification called ACCA. And I really underestimated, A, how long it would take, B, what kind of staff we needed, C, how much training would be involved, and D, sales and marketing. We all think we've got the best product. I still think we've got the best product. Am I able to convince the market of that? That's another ball game. We spent too much time on the product. And initially, so I sold out my shares in VPP and invested a lot of that money in setting up GTG. And we hired a team to write this material. And we thought this particular team of, you know, 8 people would be enough to write the material. And we get the material written in 6 months. And a year later, and 20 people later, we hadn't written all the material. And this was, if you can imagine, in this business, it is totally cash draining. This is product development, and you're not getting revenue in. So at the same time, I started thinking, okay, what can we do? And luckily, I had a break with Genpact. Genpact, the BPO, I had to interview their CFO for something, and I managed to convince him that the training that they were doing wasn't going to give them the results they needed, and they needed to use us. And he went with it, and we quickly wrote a textbook and quickly wrote course notes and started doing some training. So we had some cash coming in, but then my mind was diverted because we then had training and we had publishing. At the same time, I helped set up the British Business Group in Pune, and I met a really interesting guy who was trained in Six Sigma and Lean. And he said to me, let me come into your company and show you how you can cut down how you write a textbook. And I kid you not, he helped us get it down from 8 months into 6 weeks.
Wow.
Lean and Six Sigma are the way to go, really. And the BPOs and the KPOs already know that. But in your businesses, whatever your businesses are, there are ways of making the process more efficient. But you need to invest in experts who can help you come in. And that's one of the mistakes that we made in the early days. We tried to do it all ourselves because we wanted to save costs. But you end up spending so much more because you don't think about your time and your staff's time. So one of the biggest mistakes was that we didn't get experts in. We weren't tracking hard enough. You know, somebody said, oh, you know, this chapter's going to take me 3 weeks. And I'd be, okay, it's going to take you 3 weeks. Why is it going to take you 3 weeks? Because of this, this, and this. Okay, it's going to take you 3 weeks. I should have been harder. I should have said to them, you know what? You've only got 2 weeks. It can't be perfect. And that's, you know, that's one of the things that I really feel we made big mistakes. We could have saved 2 crores of cost easily in the early days if we'd been more efficient in the way we worked and got experts in sooner.
So, and then I read that you raised funding thrice.
Yes.
What's the experience kind of, or the journey of raising money? The same, or the challenges were different?
No, the challenges were completely different. So the first time, the biggest mistake I made, I think, was I'd spoken to a lot of people about getting funding. So we had the concept, training was working really well and was profitable. The publishing wasn't profitable because obviously you've got all the content development costs. And you've got to sell a large volume of books to recover that. So it wasn't profitable, but we had good inroads and clients who were buying enough materials. So we had proof of concept. And at that time, I went to a couple of events in India, and I went to a couple of events in the UK. And I really think I made a mistake by going for UK investors rather than Indian investors. And the reason I say that is because what I got was money. But anyone would have given us money. We had a really strong case, it was compelling. But what we needed was contacts to really grow the business, to scale up. We needed sales. And I wasn't thinking that. I was just thinking about where could I get the money from. And I wasn't thinking about sales. I wasn't thinking about what else could those investors bring to the table. and you know it, right? All of us know that that's what you should be doing.